You are listening to Let's Go JoJo, the weekly JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. On today's show, we have Niall Flanagan.
Yellow.
Anthony Askew.
Hello.
Dwayne Maloney.
Oh.
And me, Brian Smith. This week's episode...
Anthony, that was me doing a voice. That wasn't a real dog.
Okay.
No, that was a real dog.
Hey, I've got to put my deep voice down deep to announce what episode title it is. Anyway, this week's episode is Iggy the Fool and Gebs Nadol, Part 2. But first, the week in JoJo's news. First bit of JoJo's news. There are JoJo's face masks for you to buy and make your faces look pretty. And then when you take the mask off, you'll also look even prettier. There is a Star Platinum and a Stone Mask one. And they are great. Want the Stone Mask. They look great. At least in these advertising pictures.
They look scary. Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, this company makes wands for all sorts of things. There's like animal wands, Hello Kitty wands. Various all sorts you can get. But they do. So
that's our KitaCon cosplays, yeah?
Well, I don't know how long they last because they are actual face packs.
Oh, so it's like a tattoo, like a wipe-on tattoo, is it?
No, it's to...
No.
It's to... It contains cosmetic ingredients such as collagen and blended with rosemary, which is said to have the power of increasing concentration.
What's it got here? Hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C. Remember that? Of course, a little known power of the stone mask, besides making you the vampire, was its wonderful moisturizing properties.
Well, as we learned in this week's episode, Dio is very pretty from wearing those stone masks.
He is so hot.
I mean, like, even Avdol was like, I had to get away from him. He was too gorgeous.
It has been a while that we've had it reminded, though, that he is sexy evil Jesus. Oh. Well, actually, in Egypt, it's probably sexy evil Moses, to be precise.
That's
sexy evil, I don't know, Osiris.
Okay.
Jesus, I don't know.
The next bit of JoJo's news is that there is an Hermes Costello action figure out in April, and she is a character from Part 6. I think she's almost like she's the Caesar, isn't she? I think of that arc, the second heroic lead.
Oh.
On the 28th of January, the single of the opening theme is released, and in fact, we can now correct ourselves who the people are doing it. It's the 3 people who did the 3 previous openings, all teamed up together to do this one.
And it's grown on me. It's there. It only took 2 weeks, or 2 episodes, and I love it. I'm hooked. And
also on March the 4th in Japan, the Pat Metheny Group Best Album is released.
Very pertinent.
The weirdly... well, obviously getting popular. I did hear a Pat Metheny Group song played on Six Music this week.
I'm being sincere. I think that is very pertinent.
It wasn't the JoJo's ending theme, though.
Do you think this is related to JoJo's?
I believe it is. It was in an article about the pair of those bits of news together. So.
Oh wow.
He's coming back out of retirement. Going to ride this JoJo Bizarre Adventure train to fame and fortune once again.
Well, that's what we're doing, so, yeah.
Yep.
And Famitsu has more screenshots from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven, which then every other website seems to have also taken, either from them or probably from some promotional pack.
Awesome. Yes.
But it's characters they revealed. The Diego Brando.
I don't want
to be Googling these things.
Stroheim, Jotaro, Kakawin, young Joseph Joestar, Caesar, Josuke from Part 2. I think that's all the screenshots they've got. I think Diego Brando was the big one that people... Because I think... Was he in the previous one?
Diego Brando.
Was he Steel Ball Run? Or...
Yes, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
He's the jockey who's got Dio written on his hat.
I think he is.
Oh, yeah, he is the guy, yeah.
but
I keep thinking of
there's yeah. Don't want to spoil things, but
Well, don't. See if I'm don't then.
but hey, so it'll be a while before the comic's out in English, and it may never get an anime adaptation. And if you play the game, you probably get spoilt on it anyway. I believe there's multiple Diego Brandos.
Oh.
Well, it's a possibility, certainly. I mean, like the current series is like a different version of Part 4, or it's the same, similar characters, but they're a different version of it.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever he wants.
Get away with it.
Speaking of things in the future, they had another like little ad for attaching Ultra Jump, which is the anthology that JoJo's runs in now. And they did ads before with like dudes from Diamond is Unbreakable Part 4 and Vento Oreo Part 5, but now they have one for using characters from Stone Ocean Part 6 with Jolene and Hermes.
Who's got their phone next to their microphone?
Not me.
Definitely not me.
I'm not even sure where my phone is, so...
It
Not
was
me.
me.
It was you, was it?
It was. Try to pull a fast one there.
Ooh.
Sneak off. It's off now.
Oh dear. Well,
Ruined the podcast.
I know. I'm sorry.
I have to start all over again.
no, it's okay. It's fine because like I'll make you forget about that. Because if you subscribe to Ultra Jump, which I think is the idea of the ad, I'm not quite sure it's all in Japanese, but I think if you subscribe, you get an Iggy keychain as part of your subscription.
Oh, that's nice.
And Jolene is very, very taken aback by this. She is like, "Oh wow, Iggy keychain! This is what we're bringing our person and subscribing to Ultra Jump for. Fantastic."
And I think that's it for JoJo's news this week.
Guess
So
so.
on to the episode itself, and Niall, take it away with the synopsis.
Okay, we last left our heroes. They were being imperiled, menaced by the fearsome stand of Endul, the blind stand user, assassin of Dio. And also the gang had recently met their new leader, Iggy, who has some bold new ideas about facing this threat, which mostly involves just lying down and doing nothing. Anyways, the guys managed to escape the car they were sinking into the sand, and then they're like on the sand, keeping very, very still because the stand like hunts by a sound, much like Tremors, as we alluded to last week. And after they figured this out, and Avdol pulls like a little ruse where he's taking off his bracelets and throwing them further on the sand to simulate someone's footsteps to try and throw off Endul, who was listening 4 kilometers away. But he gets wise to this scheme, and before you know it, Avdol is face down, while on his back in the sand, bleeding out the neck from a throat wound. That's when Jotaro takes it upon himself to just peg it straight forward in the direction of which the stand user would be, or more so where Iggy is, because Iggy, being a dog, can of course track by smell, including the stand. But Iggy's having none of this. He's like, he tries to pull a runner by using his stand of food and turning it into a sort of like dog dune buggy glider contraption. But JoJo's too quick for him too, and he managed to latch onto him, and so they're both in the air, out of range of the stand, and Endul, far away, is one kind of figure out what the hell is going on here, and if he kind of eventually figures out that, they're gliding, they're going to glide towards me, but I gotta try to take them out before they reach me, or otherwise I'm toast. He's struggling because he's not too pleased with the turn of events. Causes him to eventually hit the sand, and then Endul, he's on top of him. He's about to take out Jotaro. He's got him dead to rights. But Jotaro pulled another daring plan of his own. Launch Diggy at Io. Just pitch him like a baseball straight at Endul, and he'd have to use his stand, pull it back to defend himself against the oncoming collision. But also serving as a distraction, allowing Jotaro to sneak up behind Endul. He's right behind him, and then it's like a pair of gunslingers. They both like attack with their stands, but at the same time, JoJo lands a hit square in the chest of Endul, but Endul misses Jotaro because he didn't figure that Jotaro was wearing a hat. and his supposed headshot just misses it and just knocks off his hat. But Jotaro's impressed by it because he's all like, "You knocked my hat off. Even the ocean couldn't match you to that." So it's quite upbeat. He's the one who's come closest maybe to defeating Jotaro so far, if knocking off hat is a measurement of his strength. So Jotaro is like, "Okay, in duel, where's Dio? And what's his stand power? Tell me everything." And it's like, Endul is like, "Up yours, Jotaro, I'll never tell." And he like blows his own brains out using his stand. Even though he blew his own brains out, he still has a few minutes left to talk about Dio and how gorgeous he is. And he's like, "Haha, I'll never tell. I'm so devoted to him. He's so hot." And then he passes away, dead. And Jotaro gives him a proper burial because he kind of admires Endul's integrity. Like, even then he's like, I guess some kind of a noble warrior to have some kind of a shared understanding, I suppose. And also another understanding happened between like Jotaro and Iggy, a little bit, because Iggy's acting all cute. He retrieves Jotaro's hat. Also, it would seem, because he gets his back, because one do you know there's like coffee gum stuck all over it. It's like, "Oh, you rotten dog, I thought you were friends, I'll get you." We'll see how that turns out next week.
I'm pleased he said gum as soon as he put the hat on and found that sticky stuff in it. Because
sticky brown thing in his head, and a dog just handed you. It seemed like it was going to go somewhere bad.
Yeah.
But I suppose that would happen if Ponriff wore a hat.
Oh, definitely. It'd be pig shit. There'd be a pig instead of a dog.
if Polnareff wore a hat, it would be a toilet.
Well, the hat would be a toilet.
Yes. It'd be...
Yeah.
We need something that big to fit over his hair, you see. So.
What a great episode!
Oh, Anthony, did you watch the giant chunk after the credits though?
Well,
or did you do your usual thing?
I did my usual.
Oh my god! You missed quite a lot.
It was almost half the episode.
Well, I seen there was previews, and I thought, no, I'm doing this one.
No,
blank
there
slate.
was the rest of the episode.
Oh, well, lay it on us. I'd lay it on me then. Sum it up.
As I was watching this, I was thinking Anthony's going to switch off during the credits.
I did see there was a big chunk left, but I thought, the ending theme's quite long, actually, when I think about it. That makes sense.
It's not One Piece. They don't need to fill 5 minutes with theme tunes.
Well, since I'm doing the summarizing, I gotta give it the broad strokes. It's like there's a little lad reading a comic under a tree, and this tourist, just some kind of manga artist, is like, "Oh my god, they got manga in Egypt? That's so cool." "Well, what you reading there, kid? I'll let you have some donuts and binoculars if you let me read it." And it's like, what a weird comic. It's like, And it's like reading the story, and it seems to be like, very eerily similar to events, and characters like such as the manga seems to be a kind of a character of him. I "Oh, this is kind of weird." And it seems to be predicting my death. But sure, it's only a comic. Can't be true. And it's kind of weird too that the first pages are all blank. That's very odd as well. But I'm manga crazy. "Hey kid, can I buy a scarf here?" And then the kid's big brushes up with like, "Get the fuck out of here. That's my kid butter, you weirdo." And then like the manga artist is scared off. He hops in the bus to Aswan, rest people, and then
the brothers were about to get on the bus, but then the little brother shows the big brother the comic,
the death,
and they decide they better not get on that bus after.
Let's get the next
one.
Yeah.
And then they're on the bus, and then one day they go past a terrible accident. The bus has like a crash, and there's been a horrible death, and the manga artist has been impaled on a telephone pole, just like in the comic.
And his watch stopped at the very time that he was said to die.
But when I would say when he was reading the comic, he does not draw the connection between what he's doing and what's in the comic.
And it's like, and one day this guy went over to the kid who was reading the comic. He says, "Hey kid, can I read your comic? I'll give you donuts and binoculars for the comic." That's like what I did.
Well, to be fair, it's very stylized, the comic.
It is very stylized, but it's literally all the dialogue is what happened.
It is true. I think the point, when you get to the point where the character in the comic has been given binoculars and donuts, and he just gave a kid some binoculars and donuts.
It's such an odd thing to give someone. Yeah, that seems likely.
Probably where the alarm bell should be going.
What would you would never panic. In the real world, I would just sit on that bus, iPod in, and see what happens.
Well, you didn't see his big brother as well. This dude was again a super buff guy, but he had like the tallest baseball cap I've ever seen.
I think the sun visors, aren't they? Or at least the little brother's got a sun visor.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird enough situation to set you on edge, I think.
Oh, why did that?
Now you're just going to have to watch the ending of everything forever.
These are Oingo and Boingo.
No, they're not.
No,
That's not what it was in the subtitles at all.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? That's crazy talk.
I was reading what was written on their
Yeah, me
book,
too.
and also their T-shirt.
And also what they were saying aloud.
Yes,
So who are they meant to be?
they're Oingo and Boingo. That's who they are, named after Oingo Boingo. Yeah. The big brother's got the peak cap, and then the little brother's got the sun visor. But his hair is even bigger than his big brother's peak cap.
And I'm skipping through it now. I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, the tourist guy looks like an interesting character as well.
He looks like a stereotypical manga character.
He's got glasses on. Oh, I like the guy's cap.
Don't get attached to him.
Yeah.
Oh. who the guy in the cap or the? Okay, yeah, I see. Oh, damn it! I like the guy in the cap.
Zenyatta Mondata is what they're called in the subtitles.
Yeah.
It's a Police album, isn't it?
I think you're right, yeah, it could be.
Yeah, which I don't get at all. Because if they're like, God changes his name so we don't get sued, that's just changing it to a different musical reference. So
Maybe Danny Elfman is notoriously litigious.
I looked it up, and they were changed to Mandata Zendata to like in a Viz translation. And I guess because they changed it back then, they figured, well, no one complained about that, so we can still go with that, right? That's the only logic of it. Yeah.
I've never heard of Oingo Boingo.
Have you never heard of Oingo Boingo?
Never, ever, ever, ever. I know who Danny Elfman is, obviously, but...
Well, he was Oingo Boingo before he was
Danny Elfman.
He should have stuck with that. It's a way better name.
Yeah, probably is.
I'm trying to think, do I know any of their songs? I definitely... But I may just know them because Danny Elfman used to be in them.
Were they good? That is the outlying question here. The fact that I've never heard of them suggests...
I don't know if they had any hits over here.
No.
I do like ska music, so...
Weird Science. That's probably the song I know.
Ghostbusters 2.
I probably don't know that because I've tried to wipe most of my memories of Ghostbusters 2. Weird Science is a song by Oingo Boingo, which is the theme song to the Weird Science film. So yeah, I definitely have heard that.
Okay, I know that one. Yes.
But yeah, they've had no hits in the UK. And apparently they've also been known as the Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo.
Yeah.
Back when they first, in the 1970s. Nerds. This was a great episode. This was like the fastest half hour of my week watching this.
My life.
When he threw Iggy, I was just cackling like mad.
Does that count as a fastball special? Is that like the first
yes,
instance
it does,
of that?
yeah.
I'd
No,
have to
it's
check
happened
that.
in the X-Men way before.
Oh, sure, that would have been in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, throwing a dog is an original spin on it.
Yeah, well, Star Platinum, he did the whole like motion of a baseball pitcher.
That was amazing because you know it's coming, but he's building up to it so nicely.
Yeah. You know, I don't have been wanting to just do that to Iggy all day. He finally found an excuse to do it.
I was going to do this later, but now I have a reason.
And Iggy's got very human-like features in this episode.
His eyes are really weird. It's like they stuck human eyes on a dog. It's the weirdest thing.
But it's when he's covering his eyes that doesn't want to look when...
his hands, his paws look like hands or something.
Or dogs do that all the time.
He's ripped as well. He's got biceps on his...
Yeah, of course he's ripped. Everyone's ripped. That's the
even
point
a
of
dog.
JoJo. But you get to see it more on Iggy because he's not wearing any clothes.
I mean, like you can see it on Abdal, and he's fairly layered up.
Oh, yeah, we're talking of Avdol. We've got the...
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
thank God he still does that. I love that.
Sassy like fuck. Oh, yeah.
It was nice that I really like that plan as well, and the visualization of it. Because generally, what it is we see our guys, like the Crusaders, kind of looking to figure out how to get around the guy's power. But that time, we saw your man trying to figure out how are they trying to trick me. So
Yes.
it's kind of nice to see it from the other side.
Mm-hmm. also from the other side, like I kind of liken the view from under the stand, where you're under the stand looking up, and we'll say Endul is seeing through his stand, that's under the ground, the footsteps and the vibrations that are happening on the surface, which is kind of cool. Kind of turn around on that as well.
It's like Daredevil vision.
Yes, exactly what I thought as well.
Yeah, and he's like throwing up like sand particles about to bounce off Iggy and JoJo in mid-flight, and then trying to find him in the air via the reflected sound. Then,
if I was holding on to that bird thing, the fool, I'm not that I could hold on for long anyway. But the instant sand started getting in my hair, I would have let go. I don't like sand on clothes, in hair, in feet. Don't like it.
They're going to Egypt.
I would be no good in that desert. I would be no good.
You wouldn't last long.
No.
Wait, Dio's in the desert? No way.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
Iggy pulls a good few moves of that. I really liked his sand decoy while he goes to the real plan, which is escaping via glider. It's like, oh, pull a fast one in there, Jotaro.
What's kind of good, JoJo just pins him to the ground and like basically strangling a small dog. It's like, it doesn't make him look good, even though the dog's a dick. Iggy was pretty good as well. The way he after Jotaro had to do that initial jump, which was nice. Again, he's revealing part of his plan to the Endul. But when Iggy's like, I'm going to drag your ass through the sand so he fucking kills you and I can just fly off. That was really nice. It's like, fuck you, Iggy.
You little bastard.
Whatsoever.
Well, he's terrified. He's so terrified that he's becoming nearly incontinent. He's just farting like a
that was mad. Iggy, stop farting. I'm trying to hang on.
So nervous and scared. He's just farting and squirming. We've all been there. Come on.
In this episode, at least, Jotaro's hat is just tatty at the back. It's not hair, because his hat flies off, it's still got the thing you think's hair attached to the hat.
Maybe he put it on a cactus one day, and he just liked the shape that it made.
No,
I think it's probably just the one he's been wearing since he was a little kid.
So he had a massive head as a child.
Yes, of course he did.
It shrunk.
Maybe the hair has got entangled in the back and it's just kind of all matted into it.
He's a manga character. His head's always been that size, and his body's just grown into adulthood.
I hate his hair. It looks silly. It just doesn't look right. There's something wrong.
Well, obviously he thinks the same, because even in his 20s, he's still wearing his school uniform in the next part.
Well, it's like when you get in from school after school, and you would always sit in your uniform for hours unless you were told otherwise, so nobody told him otherwise.
Well, his granddad's hair is all spiky. His great-great-granddad's hair is all spiky. Maybe he's just embarrassed that he has the family hair. Actually, I did notice that when he was running off as well, he appeared to be doing the Joestar secret technique of just running the fuck away. No, and Joseph was like, shit, I should have thought of that. Where are you going, Jotaro?
No, it's the Joestar secret technique. Run towards the danger, not about it away from it.
I was going to say, yeah, why are they so down on Iggy? Iggy's obviously picked this up from hanging around with Joseph.
It sounds like he's the new leader. He's like leading as he was taught. He's some bold new ideas.
And Jotaro does have sympathy for him, because he does point out that it must be terrible for a dog to suddenly just be dragged from New York to Egypt on the whim of an old man and then expected to fight superpowered monsters.
They nearly had that connection at the end where it was like, yeah, we're both outcasts and rebels, you know. We don't go by the man. And then it's like, you put fucking chewing gum on my head, did you little shit? God damn it.
No, the real love story here is between Endul and Iggy, because like Endul's like, I fight for Dio and I believe my own strength. I didn't answer to nobody. I wasn't afraid of no one was on my stand. The dog, he gets me, don't you, boy?
I'd say he's just a dog person.
I'm looking at stills of the of Iggy in flight when he's being thrown. The faces he's pulling are
they're pretty
excellent.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's weird that they were add a comedy relief character when pretty much everyone in the show is a comedy relief character.
They need like a team mascot.
I suppose. Actually, when I remembered the rough outline of these episodes, I knew it was well, the dude has water-based stand, and they've already just gotten a sand-based stand in the fucking desert. That's kind of cheap for the dude with the water-based thing, isn't it? I was like, oh yeah, the sand guy doesn't really want to fight; he just wants to run the fuck away.
Yeah,
makes it easier for him.
Also, a water-based stand, and it goes to Jotaro. He puts a Star Platinum, and it's like, Jotaro, how are you going to punch water? How is that going to work out for you precisely?
He'd just probably punch it a lot. That seems to do the trick.
Punch it hard enough so it hurts the guy who's controlling the stand.
Actually, I did like that. He only ever formed an arm with the stand, and when Abdal attacked, it burned him on that arm.
Yeah, I was going to say, Abdal managed to set fire to water, so I'm pretty sure Jotaro could punch it.
No, you can boil water. So
yeah.
Oh yes, that's true.
Makes sense.
It had burnt him. It didn't scald him. So.
Other things that were revealed about stands, apparently. Endul said that Herman Public can read people's minds.
Yeah,
maybe Joseph doesn't know that.
You have it handy a good while ago. We had Inyaba Guile in our clutches. We could have got all the info we needed out of her. Come on, Joseph. Step up already.
Joseph doesn't know how it works.
How do they know and he doesn't though?
Because
of the car
Dio's got it as well. Remember, Dio's got two stands. He's got the one his head's got, and then he's got the one Jonathan's body's got.
Okay.
He's kind of going. Oh, Joseph. No, he's if he knows all the stuff now. I can't let anything go to chance, and he just has no idea. Joseph has no idea what he's doing, does he? He's just been winging it all the way through, relying on Jotaro to get him out of all his messes.
Yeah, and they have to deliver a new camera to him because he has to destroy a camera every time he wants to take a picture. And
or a hotel TV. You can also destroy hotel TVs as well.
Presumably you can do it without, because we see fucking Dio make a picture without destroying the camera, right?
Yes.
You don't need to destroy anything. He just really likes karate chopping.
It's just practice, I suppose. Also, the ashes of a deceased Indian man are hard to come by to create maps.
People aren't willing to sell that very much.
Oh, what else was there?
Well, yeah, the Geb is his stand representative because it reminds you of the Egyptian god of the earth.
I'm not going to tell you anything about the 9 people, but we're based off these Egyptian gods. Shit, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Oh no, he mentions that anyway.
No, but he says he's going to say nothing. He's not going to reveal any
information.
Just reveals. And he reveals my one represents the card of the stand of Earth. Well,
I'm not going to tell you what the other ones stand for, but you'll probably guess that they're also represented by Egyptian gods.
Yes.
Yeah. No shit, Hindu. God. Also, Abdal, being from Egypt, didn't figure this out. Has no idea about this. For being a fortune teller from Egypt as well, you think he would probably be able to at least have a guess that this could be what the next of the stands could be based on, but
maybe he doesn't believe in the Egyptian gods. Maybe
maybe
elsewhere.
Maybe it's he grew up in a family where we have the Egyptian god tarot cards, and he's like, no way, I'm going to Rider Waite dick. Yeah,
well, as you all know, Abdul is a devout Jehovah's Witness, so
that's a lot of fun in this one. A lot of setup of each of them trying to stay one move ahead of the other guy and not reveal their hand. So nice. And yeah, like you said, Niall, the kind of standoff at the end where basically he just kind of gut punches him.
Very hard.
Yeah. Well, enough to puke blood, yeah.
Very Jotaro focused as well.
Which is nice.
Which we haven't really had too much of in the previous 25 episodes.
Yeah. I think Joseph once said, well, we'll have to leave this to Jotaro. I was like, don't you usually do that and if you're all stuck at the end?
Good plan, Joseph. I know.
Oh, what was the deal with them coming up in the car in the end? Because they were reversing the car. I don't understand that. Did the front get damaged?
Sure. What was the front end that had to
sinking into the sand?
Into the earth, or this time towards the thing into reverse, and it'll work that way.
Let's drive.
No, but they were reversing all the way there.
Well, maybe they were going in the opposite direction, and they had to. They were reverse. They were going to, as soon as they picked them two up, they were going to
drive forward. Yeah.
I hope it hasn't broken the steering wheel. Yeah.
Maybe maybe the gearbox got all mushed up in the quicksand. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or maybe Joseph is driving it.
That is entirely true. Actually, I did notice that I forgot to mention that the last episode when he was driving, they totally fucked up that car again.
Well, who's their normal designated driver? Is it
Generally Ponarif?
Yes.
If
Ponarif,
Avdol wasn't available.
Yeah.
They're probably the only people with licenses.
The rest are over the limit with stupidity.
No, they're teenagers.
Yeah. Kakouin and Jotaro too.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one's a dog, so he doesn't have a license, probably.
Well, he can turn his stand into some kind of...
That's true. He
half,
does have wheels
half
on
dog,
the back.
half doom buggy, so he can't just drive around in that. I thought the pilot looked strange. It might look strange then to passers-by because they won't be able to see the stand, so if you see it's like... guys...
That is true. When he was flying, because his stand was like carrying Iggy in his paws.
That dog's carrying that man.
That dog in a hang glider made of sand is carrying a man. How unusual. It appears to be powered by farts.
Well, actually, that's a good point. Would his stand be visible because it creates it out of sand?
Well, the wings of that thing when it was flying were sand, so you'd be able to see those. So it looks like a dog hovering below a sand hang glider carrying a man.
Yeah.
Who's strangling the dog?
She like rolled through down. See like 5 guys seated, just maybe like levitating through a sandstorm with a dog. It's the image of it.
Oh, beautiful. It would raise too many questions, I think.
But to try and maintain like a deep cover here, don't attract any attention, even though Dio knows precisely where we are and has an assassin in every town on the way anyway. So it wouldn't really matter any longer, but sure, hey, let's try and blend in, and try and take in a few of the sites and be tourists while we can.
Well, they can't. They haven't got much time.
No.
They had the time limit set last episode, didn't
But
they?
they're plenty of time stopping at a cafe, and almost get killed by the next set of dudes.
Okay, I think that's it for this week's episode. You can join us back here on Let's Go JoJo for... And now here's the tricky bit. How to pronounce...
Lay it on us.
Is it Num? Is it Kanum?
It's Kanum.
Kanum. Kanum Oingo and Thoth Boingo. So presumably those are their stands.
My goodness.
As those are names of Egyptian gods. The Kanum and Thoth, of course, not Oingo and Boingo.
Those would be awful names for gods.
They would be. Well, maybe
They
not.
won't be the best names.
Depends how silly your D&D campaign is.
Almighty Oingo, God of death and destruction.
Boingo, god of bongos.
Actually, he's a guy of saxophones. You would think it would be bongos, but...
And in the meantime, check out our regular podcasts at secretofthesailormadness.blogspot.com and dynamiteinthebrain.com. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Camels with the hump, fat girls, thin girls, some a little plump. Slave girls sold here 50 bob a lump in the old bazaar in Cairo. Brandy, shandy, beer without a froth, braces, laces, a candle for the moth. Bet you'd look a dolly in an old loincloth in the old bazaar in Cairo. You can buy most anything, thimbles, fat cows, a little bit of string. You can purchase anything you wish, a clock, a dish, and something for your Auntie Fanny. Harem, scarum, what do you think of that? Benny, striptease, dancing on the mat. Oompa, oompa. That's enough of that in the old bazaar in Cairo.